So I guess let's go ahead and get things started. Take it away.
Is this really called Xel'Naga Fortress?
It is Xel'Naga Fortress, yes indeed.
They're running out of prefixes and suffixes for names. They have like Twilight Fortress already. And what else do they have?
And then Xel'Naga Caverns. You combine it, you get Xel'Naga Fortress. There you go.
So does this have the big macro map? And it is the same tile set as Caverns. Interesting.
Yeah, this is...
drewbie agreeing with us a little bit.
I've never played this map, he says. Okay, this is one that's been in rotation for GSL for quite a while. It's a 3-player map. I really love the 3-player maps.
Yeah.
Here we go. At the top left-hand corner, we have compLexity's drewbie spawning as our blue Terran player. His opponent from Reign, both these players are, of course, former Root. We have Reign SLush spawning as our red Zerg player.
Yeah, so we're going to have that team versus team game here, or not team versus team. Yes, it is team versus team series, but the old former teammate versus the old former teammate, both formerly from Root. And I was touching on this at the end of the last game. When you play someone that you've played with so many times, it really makes for an interesting game because you're able to try different strategies. When money's on the line, when some prize is on the line, you're going to get sneaky with it, and you're going to do whatever it takes to win. So you're going to think, all right, I know that my opponent usually does X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to do, instead of doing A, B, and C, I'm going to do D, E, and X, right?
and we already know that drewbie hasn't played on this map, so he's going to be falling back to more standard build orders, things like that. SLush, on the other hand, he has not revealed to us one or the other if he has played a significant amount of time
he
here.
Said it's standard.
Looks like he is going for the hatch here, 15 hatch. That's the first time we've actually seen a Zerg do that today. Open hatch first.
Well, yeah. Well, opening 15 hatch against Terran is actually really common. You can't do it against Protoss because of cannons, but when you think about it, what can Terran do to punish a 15 hatch? And the only thing that really comes close is a 2 barracks attack, 2 barracks timing attack, that is. But even 2 barracks can be held off with a later pool that comes from the 15 hatch. So it doesn't look like drewbie is going to go 2 barracks, so he's actually going to open up with Tech Lab on his barracks. He has 1 gas, and I'll be interested to see what he opts to go with from here.
And we do have that pool coming down now. So yeah, there we are. Tech Lab on the barracks. Let's see if he goes right into the Reaper. He does. Drewbie, I like every TVZ game I've seen of drewbie over the past few weeks. He's opened with Reaper first into Expand, and it looks like that this is going to be no exception. So he is going to be able to do some pretty good damage if SLush isn't able to hold. I really want to know what drewbie does here, though. He's had a chance to kind of look around the minimap. He knows that it's a 3-player map. He kind of sees how the bases are structured, but he doesn't have any prepared builds here. So does he go for something really cheesy, or does he play it standard, as SLush was suggesting it before?
Well, actually, standard. I think SLush was saying that it's standard because the map is standard. Saying as the map that he's played on a lot, that a lot of pro gamers play on. I think that's what he was referring to when he said standard. So let's see, drewbie here, he is going for the command center in the main. He is getting a factory, so it looks like he's going to open this game up with Blue Flame Hellions. And that's going to be his game plan from here, which is it's a pretty common build against Zerg.
And the Reaper does manage to make its way in, chucking a grenade angrily onto the hatchery as he runs by. Reaper going to make his way in and pick off a couple of drones. There we are. First one. No, doesn't go down, actually. Wow. Nice reaction time by SLush. He is going to lose both of those Zerglings, but still, good job to not lose any economic advantage that he had by opening with that hatch first. drewbie going to go ahead and get a full scalp, but really nothing going to be revealed to him. We have seen recently out of SLush in TVCs that he has gone for very late gas. I commented last night during the viewer replay section that he goes for close to what we saw out of the Ice Fisher build from Spanishiwa, but without the Mass Queens, but that very, very late quad gas into very high tech.
Yeah, that very late quad gas into high tech is actually a great platform to launch yourself into infestor play. The reason for that is because you get all those 3 gases as your layer is morphing, and you're able to accumulate that gas while the layer is coming, and you get all those infestors out. It's actually really, really effective. And it doesn't look like Reign's going to do that, though. He has 2 gas, or not Reign, SLush, excuse me, is going to do that. We have 2 gases coming up right now, and a Roach Warren.
Yes.
Kind of interesting. But I think those Roaches are just in preparation of the Hellion, and he's anticipating the Blue Flame Hellion. And yeah, it certainly looks like that, because if you guys look at the positioning of that Roach Warren, it's being placed so that it can block the Hellions from running inside the main.
And drewbie going to float this orbital command over to the natural. Now he is opening up with another tech lab. We actually saw him do this in the game fairly recently. I forgot under what circumstances it was, whether it was part of RPL proper or whether it was a one of the IPL TV broadcasts we had done, but he did something pretty similar to this. The first Hellions are making their way out. Now, of course, he's not going to be able to go into double Hellion production anytime soon. He may lift this off like I believe he did in the last game, float that over, build a reactor there, and replace another structure onto this tech lab. But there we are. 2 more barracks being added at the moment. SLush, on the other hand, just committing to these roaches.
Yeah, SLush is just getting some defensive roaches for now. It doesn't look like it's any kind of a roachling all in or anything like that. And he's just being very careful and cautious about the possibility of Blue Flame Hellions. No spine crawlers to speak of right now, so he's not going to rely on static defense. I'm a big advocate of building an extra spine crawler just in case, but it doesn't look like he's going to do that. It looks like the Hellion's going to come by the Xel'Naga. What the hell is that? The Xel'Naga Citadel? Yeah, Xel'Naga Tower. Okay, cool. So here comes the Blue Flame Hellions. They're trying to roast up the Queen a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be able to get in to do any damage.
No, they do pick off 1 creep tumor, but that's really the extent of their damage. On the other hand, SLush is putting up quite a number of roaches. He has found himself in a little bit of an economic lead, although, of course, if drewbie is able to call down any mules, he'll be in a fine position. He's letting that energy build up for a little while, and unfortunately, he's supply blocked quite badly, and he realizes it. So he's putting up 2 supply depots at the same time, but he's going to have to start investing in tech or find a way to drop his money, because right now he's just sitting around on 54 supply, and that's no good.
Yeah, he's going to have to get that supply count up to match up with the Zerg pretty quickly. We do have SLush now going for the Baneling Nest before layer completes. This is pretty common. We want to get Banelings out just in case of Marines or some kind of a mass Hellion attack. Banelings are fairly effective against both. This Queen needs to get her butt back over to the natural because she may end up going down. Oh, really close call right there. The Queen makes it out just barely alive with her hide intact. And SLush is going to come out now with a couple of roaches. I'm surprised that SLush, with the number of roaches he has right now, hasn't begun to push out. He's being very cautious and defensive, and he doesn't have a 3rd hatchery. Why? Why is he waiting with all these roaches in his main?
And he's going back to that Spire Tech once again, something we saw him do, excuse me, on Shadow Temple against Cruncher in the against a Protoss player, but maybe something he wants to pursue here as well. He did play a very, it seemed like he was almost going after a ZVT approach in the last game as well, with that mass Muta going into some harassment, but it looks like we're going to see the same strategy right here, even down to the Banelings that are coming up right away. So, looks like he's queuing up for a pretty big push here. drewbie, on the other hand, he's adding another 2 racks, but he's found himself supply blocked on a number of occasions, and he has not equalized supply quite yet, so I want to see where he goes from there. Both these players looks like they are content to sit on 2 base and just build up large armies for the time being.
Well, SLush is going to get that 3rd hatchery down. It's pretty common to get the 3rd hatch while your Spire is morphing, although maybe this drone got some misdirection from the Overmind. I don't know where he's going. He's going to go down to the 6 apparently to build a hatchery. So a little bit of a ninja hatchery possibly coming up. The Spire is still being morphed, and this is actually a really crucial timing because drewbie is coming out with almost everything he's got across the minimap, and this is really close window timing because this is right before the Spire finishes, before Mutalisks can come out. And look at that. SLush is forced to invest all his minerals into attacking units, 18 Zerglings, and he cannot build Mutalisks. This is such a close timing window from drewbie, and drewbie does it perfectly.
And here comes SLush. He's going to make his way in. How much damage are the Banelings going to do? A lot of it's going to come down to that. Smartly going after Hellions at first, but then the Banelings are just confused. Looks like there is a sheer number of roaches, though. They're going to be able to bust through those units. Nice job actually taking down all of the siege tanks.
Yeah.
Now, drewbie, you know, for his good timing window, still wasn't moving across the map with all that many units.
Yeah.
So he's forced to fall back, overstimming a number of times. His first medevac's only now coming out, and I don't know if he has enough to deal with this wave that's coming at him.
Oh, nice little dropship save right there. Yeah, the thing here is, yes, the timing there was really good if SLush was playing a standard game, but SLush had a lot of roaches waiting inside the main. I think we counted like 6 or 7 roaches, and that made all the difference. SLush over preparing for those Hellions in the early game actually ended up being a really big benefit to him when that tank marine timing push came, because he had enough forces to deal with that attack, and drewbie paid the price.
And looks like we do finally have that 3rd base coming down now for SLush. It's about to finish up, is what I meant to say. And number of Mutalisks coming up along with a bunch of drones. So SLush, he's actually pretty far behind economically there at first. Income tab suggests that, yes, because of the mules that are down, drewbie is in a pretty good position in that regard. He has a nice defensive position set up as well. If he's able to mitigate damage from these Mutalisks for a little while, he's going to be even in an advantageous position. But These Mutalisks look like they're going to get in and do some damage. Only one missile turret up.
Oh,
this other one stuck behind the mineral line. That's going to allow SLush to sit at this sweet spot and pick off a number of SCVs.
Yeah, he may actually be able to pick up the dropship as well. No, he does not get the meta back. Oh, the Mutalisks are taking a little bit of a break there. They've got to be really careful. Those tanks are exposed right now, and SLush, like the predator he is, he sees those tanks exposed. He's going right for the kill, and he's going to pick off 2 tanks at the cost of a single Mutalisk. Look at those 2 Mutalisks getting out there with just the bare bones and skin of their body structure intact, man. And SLush is going to actually go for a kill here. He's preparing to attack, realizes that 2 of the tanks are down, and he's going to get those Banelings in there.
Oh,
no!
He hasn't quite got the money burst yet, but they're trying to run through. There we go. The last couple of them do go down. The tanks were completely exposed. SLush moving in with the rest of his roaches, and I think he's going to take down the PF before it's able to form in. That's actually really, really big. Look at that. drewbie is forced to lift off. The Mutas are going to make sure that goes down.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Huge development there.
That is a huge development and a turn of events there. drewbie has lost his 3rd expansion. That's a massive setback for the Terran player. He's got to rebuild a new command center. That's going to take another minute. He's got to play defensively. He cannot afford to push out unless he just wants to try to end the game right here, right now. But I don't think drewbie is the type of player to do this, especially considering the fact that this is a map that he's not really comfortable on.
Right.
So he's going to play very safe, very standard. He's going to rebuild that command center, but what a setback, losing that CC, and that's reflected in the supply, 146 to 109.
Yep, and he does have a good number of Marines out, but they're only on 1-1 upgrades right now. We already see SLush powering past that with the level 2 Carapace coming out. He already has the +1 ground weapons for his Zerglings for the melee units as well. So SLush, he's in a fine position. These Banelings are going to do a huge amount of damage. I don't know, man. It's going to be very, very difficult for drewbie to try and break this position because SLush is just so well set up. He's got creep extending into the middle of the map. He's able to dictate the pace of the game with where his Mutas are going, and drewbie is forced to play very defensively, and frankly, he just can't do it. I mean, he needs to make something happen.
He can't do it? He needs the Nike team by his side.
Just do it. That's good.
Yeah. Well, the creep has extended itself over to the middle of the map right now. SLush is actually playing a very conservative game right now as well, and I agree with that. He's ahead. Why risk going in there into a Terran establishment when you're ahead? Continue getting hatcheries. He's on 4 bases right now. No, that's actually 3.
Just 3,
huh.
yeah.
I thought he was on 4.
I would have thought he would have gone to 4 by now as well. So
that's a little weird. I thought for sure he would have 4 by now, but he's doing some pretty good harassment with these Mutalisks. Will he get another tank? Oh, what a beautiful micro maneuver by drewbie. You saw him pick up 2 tanks in that dropship and save it. It just skedaddled out of there.
Skedaddled, indeed.
Skedaddled, man.
That is a word I have not heard since the 1960s. I appreciate it.
Bringing it back, man.
Okay, so Reign SLush, he's going to move down to the bottom with his Mutalisks. He's committing to 4 more as well, so he's going to have a nice varied unit composition going into the strong attack he's about to make. And like we were talking about before, man, he could easily take this 4th. He's extended the creep.
There's the 4th.
Yeah, he's extended the creep out in front there. All right. Down at the 6 o'clock position. I'm surprised he didn't take this base, though. The creep is in front, so he's got the mobility. It's not all that exposed. He's continuing to take more hidden away bases when I think he could just move out to the middle of the map. Yeah. But nonetheless, drewbie is going to move in with a pack of Marines, pick off a couple of creep tumors, and then retreat. Not a bad little gain for him.
Yeah, it's always annoying when the Zerg loses his creep tumors because he's got to send out another queen, got to reestablish more creep. It's a little bit of an annoying thing when Terran players do that. But I have to agree with you there as well. Why hasn't SLush grabbed the 4th and 5th earlier? They seem really, really late to me. And that could come back to haunt him because, drewbie has been macroing on 2 bases for a fairly long time. And the other thing I've got to point out is he's allowing drewbie to max. Right now, SLush is maxed out. And I would say now's the best time to attack. Why wait?
And people are commenting in chat, I was joking. I'm only 24 years old. But nonetheless, I was not actually alive during the 1960s. It was a joke. But sarcasm is apparently lost. Sarcasm is apparently lost on people on the internet. Anyway, so we do have hatchery finishing up for SLush there. And I agree with you. He's letting drewbie get back into this far too long. I mean, drewbie is sitting on these 3 bases and trying to do whatever he can. But here it is, the attack moving in. SLush is going to come up, and all of those Marines were grouped up. Now moving to the back. Those Banelings have been pretty cost-effective so far.
Oh, man.
Not a ton of units left, but it looks like drewbie is going to have enough to hold because look at the tank positioning he had. He had several at the back by the planetary fortress as well. Those were raining down death. They have a ton of kills between them.
My
God,
goodness!
but the follow-up by the Banelings just crushes everything.
That's got to be it for drewbie moving out there. He was so cavalier with his forces. I mean, yes, you feel a little bit of a burst of confidence when you deal with that Zerg attack and you survive with a couple packs of Marines, but you got to know in the back of your head that a good Zerg player is macroing, and there's going to be more things awaiting you if you push out.
That was not pretty. We have another 16 Banelings coming up as well, so SLush is not done with his attacking. He is going to be up again pretty soon. Looks like drewbie furiously trying to put up whatever he can, smartly positioning his tanks around the planetary fortress so it can aid in the attack, but it's going to be pretty rough, man.
Well, you guys got to realize, too, that if drewbie loses this game, that's it for compLexity. Reign is going to win the Team Arena Week 2, and all the pressure, all his teammates are riding on his shoulders right now, hoping, praying, clasping their hands together, singing Kumbaya, and hoping that drewbie wins for compLexity. Because if he doesn't, if he loses right here, SLush will take the win for Reign, and that'll be it.
Yep, and it looks like a few Banelings coming in now to ward off this drop. Indeed, drewbie does pick itself up, but it's fell. The Mutalists are faster, and they're going to come after this. So all
that's
of these
pretty
Marines
nice.
are going to die.
That's actually pretty nice.
He did get it. He got the Baneling kills, yes, but he still lost the entire medevac and Marine. So
yeah, he did lose the entire medevac and Marine combination there. And drewbie is looking really, really bad right now. Reign is on the verge of a victory. And look at that supply, 198 over 137. drewbie's only hope here is to sit back and macro and max out and then push. But I think once again he's being very, very bold. I don't know if it's courageous or if it's just downright insane, but he's pushing out onto the creep here, and there's going to be a massive battle. Those Banelings not quite able to hit their mark, but it doesn't matter because they clear the way for the Mutalists to pick off the tanks, and drewbie loses almost every single one of his tanks.
Yeah, he lost all the tanks, and but those 2-3 Marines were showed to be pretty resilient. Under different upgrade circumstances, it looks like SLush would have been able to just push through and end the game right there. But drewbie still thinks he's alive. He's got a couple of medevacs heading around to the right, to the top. He's got one medevac heading around to the bottom as well, so he's going to try and make some coordinated drops and hold back SLush for a while. I'm still shocked that SLush is on as few bases as he was and is mining as little as he is. He had a definite opportunity to just kind of expand and take the entire map and didn't really pursue that.
Yeah, maybe he's showing a little bit of mercy for his teammate. I don't know. But he is sending all those drones starting from the main over to the 6. drewbie coming in here with a lot of Marines, but there's really no drones to pop off at all. In fact, the hatchery or the hive isn't at the natural. It's there we go. There's the hive at the main, and drewbie's entire dropship attack is just going to be shut down.
Yep. Wow. Even the one down here at the 6 o'clock was being taken out by spine crawlers. So unfortunately, drewbie's drops are not going to do anything. He's going to come back, and man, he is working away at that extractor. But unfortunately for him, that's about all he's going to get.
Victory for Marines.
And here we go, running into the middle of the map now is drewbie. He does manage to push off the Banelings for a little while. He's going to start moving up and trying to do some damage to these spine crawlers. But SLush here has plenty enough to ward this off if he just wants to move out and take out all those forces.
Absolutely. drewbie here trying to land a command center. That's not going to happen either. And here comes SLush. He's looking to end the game right now. No, he's going to fall back and wait it out a little bit longer. He's playing a very, very conservative game right now. At this point, I would argue, just push in, end the game. You're giving drewbie chances to get back in it.
Yep, and drewbie does manage to clean off all the Zerglings that were sitting down at his 4th base, but, oh man, we need to see an army. We need to see an army fast. Maybe drewbie needs to make a stand next to the planetary fortress, but, look at the swarm of Zerglings coming in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's going to be able to clean up everything over at the 4th. drewbie is going to lose his command center as well, or at the very least, he's going to be forced out of position to try and save it, and then he's going to run smack dab into a ton of units.
Yep, the orbital or the command center now flying over. It looks like a PDD there just went down for a couple of moments. I believe I saw PDD. Yeah, there we go. But drewbie's just hanging on right now, man. He's trying to hang on. He's trying to fight this game out, and you got to give him credit. He knows if he loses now, it's the end of the road for compLexity. All that money they could have won, man, and they've got to wait weeks, literally months, to get another shot back at Team Arena. Because there's a whole queue, man, of teams just waiting to play.
Yeah, and like we said, folks, the FXO is going to play the winner of this set next week, so we'll look forward to that match. Looks like SLush is just going to push, though. He's trying to go for the kill, the Siege Tanks are going down, and drewbie has done a nice job splitting his Marines. He's always been very good at that, and with those, he's been able to do quite a bit of damage and even holding off these forces time after time after time.
Impressive.
But still, SLush, you know, he's on the 5 bases now, going to his 6th. He should still have this well in hand.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, the fungals!
No!
Boom! Marines going down.
Well, I was going to say right there, drewbie looking like he might have made a stand in this game after that massive attack that he held off. But after those Marines went down,
disgusted, leaves the game.
Yeah, after those Marines went down, I think it's right back to the situation we were before. Very bleak, very small chance of winning here for SLush. He's going to keep fighting, man. He's going to keep on trucking, repairing that planetary fortress. His only hope is that planetary gets up in time, but those banelings are going to be sure to negate the SCVs repairing it. And all those SCVs are making their way out of there.
A couple of auto turrets trying to take out these Zerglings, and it looks like SLush. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. There's the fungals going down. The banelings going to clean up most of the rest, but this planetary looks like it is going to come up.
Oh, very nice little Marine comsat maneuver there. Picks off those 2 infestors as well. That was a little nice move by drewbie, but, you know, at this point in the game, he's still so far behind. I gotta give him credit for continuing to stay in and fight, though. drewbie does he have it? Yeah, he has the planetary fortress up, so he will be able to hold off these lings and banelings, I would imagine. No! The planetary is gonna go down, and that has gotta be the end of all hopes and dreams for drewbie.
You make it sound like his entire life is based on this game. His hopes and dreams are crushed.
No more college, no more career.
I love it.
That's
yeah, it's done. drewbie just might as well throw his keyboard out the window now. But nonetheless, here we go. Brewlord's in the mix now. Man. They're going to make their way up. SLush going to make that nice siege push behind a few infestors as well. So he's going to make his way up. Just mass Marines sitting around left for drewbie. And I think that is going to be it.
No.
drewbie throwing down the TT. And I think that is going to be as good of a
for you, drewbie.
And looks like these siege tanks are going to do a little bit more damage to their own units than anything else. The banelings rolling in after that. Here come the Brewlords clearing everything up. They're going to be able to out-siege the planetary fortress. There's the GG.